Three Georgia men convicted of chasing down and killing Ahmaud Arbery in 2020 are back in court today asking a judge for a new trial. Attorneys for Greg McMichael, his son Travis McMichael, and their former neighbor, William Bryan, are making a range of accusations, including that the jury was tainted, that their counsel was ineffective for one of the men. The McMichaels armed themselves and then chased Arbery down in a pickup truck after they saw him jogging past their house in February 2020. Bryan then joined in that pursuit in his own truck and then recorded cell phone video of Arbery getting killed by shotgun blasts at close range. ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmore joins me now for more on this. Brian, walk us through these arguments. Why are these men arguing that they deserve a new trial?
Well, Diane, you listened to the arguments already. One there is saying that the jury was tainted. One of the defense attorneys for one of the McMichaels said that after interviewing at least 3 of the jurors, there's information, they haven't revealed what it is as yet, that makes them believe that there was extraneous or external information that these jurors heard that might have biased their decision. They also have ineffective assistance of counsel, but that's specific to William Bryan, where they're saying that the previous attorney, the trial attorney, made the incorrect assessment of telling Bryan to go speak to law enforcement and that some of his words were incriminating. The last one is what we call judicial error. What they're saying is that the judge made the mistake of not allowing the defense attorneys to argue Ahmaud Arbery's previous criminal history, namely that he was arrested twice and his mental health, to suggest that the men were fearful of their life and therefore should have been able to use self-defense as an argument.
Brian, how common is it for a judge to grant a new trial based on the circumstances in this case and the arguments that the defendants are making?
So these arguments, tainted jury, judicial error, ineffective assistance of counsel, are probably the more common arguments that one makes to reverse a case. And I think it's very often that if a case is reversed, it's probably one of these 3, especially judicial error. However, there's some weaknesses to some of the arguments that the defense attorneys are making, namely, for example, that judicial error, not having Ahmaud Arbery's background being used. Well, the men who were convicted of the crime, they didn't know about Ahmaud Arbery's background, the arrest or his mental health. So how are they able to say that they were fearful of this information that they didn't have? So I don't see that being a very strong argument. Even the ineffective assistance of counsel. While I agree Bryan should never have spoken to law enforcement, I tell it to all my clients, plead the fifth, ask for an attorney. There was so much other information that they could have convicted Bryan on that I don't think that's going to be the winning argument, especially when ineffective assistance of counsel, you have to prove that what the attorney did wrong was the basis for why the case went the wrong way.
So what happens next in these proceedings?
So the judge is allotted for 2 days for both sides to make their arguments. They're going to argue much of what I just said now, why information should have come in, why it should not have come in, why the judge made a mistake, why the information the jury had may or may not have tainted the ultimate result in this case. And then the judge will take the information in some weeks or months. I know that we kind of have the holidays coming up. Judges typically take their time around this time of year, but they'll ultimately get a decision as to whether or not there should be a new trial. If there is, there would be a new case. If not, then these 3 men will stay behind bars for the rest of their sentence.
All right, ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmore. Thanks, Brian.